So here's a video of a kit which I have had in my stash for a while, and I'm going to build it for a challenge which is coming up. The challenge is to build a kit and finish it in 48 hours. So of course I chose a kit which will not be a challenge for a 48-hour period, and I picked this one. So this is a very old kit. It's older than me, and I bought it in Toys R Us for $4.95, and that's Singapore dollars, by the way. I'm going to just open it up and share with you all what I see inside. As usual, I would just like to show you all what I find in the kit. I'm not going to tell you whether it's super accurate or whether it's totally inaccurate or whatever. It's a model kit. Okay? So first, box art. This is the classic Roy Cross artwork from years and years back. Even when it was on a header card in a bag, that was how the kit's artwork looked like. Now on the back, you will find the color schemes. Now at first glance, it looks as if you only have one color scheme, but in actual fact, if you look carefully, you actually have two. You have a Soviet Air Force marking, and you also have the Polish one. Now I'm going to say something about the Polish one later on, but it's nice to know that I've got a couple of options in this one kit. And by the way, it says Series 0 on the box. Okay, I did not know until now that there was such a thing as a Series 0 kit, but here it is. That's what the end looks like, and as you can see, it's a level 1 skill kit. And on the other side, a bit more information. One of the most successful early jet fighters. Cannot disagree with that. And let me see this. This is why I wanted to build this kit for the 48-hour challenge, because it only has two colors. Gloss silver, number 11, and matte black, 33. So that's me with this kit. Now let me just open it up. And let me just flip it open. Okay, so I'm just pour everything out. Okay. Alright. Empty box. I'll put that aside. Now, let's get all that out of the way. Maybe I zoom out just to give a bit more perspective. So parts of the kit are all in this little bag, which I will of course open up and show you guys later. And we have this typical Euro stuff, and this is actually just in case you wanted to tell people that there was something missing. Nice touch. If you remember, those of you who built the old Airfix kits, you will find this inside there. Nice little bit of nostalgia there. Put that aside. Instruction sheet. Okay. Typical Airfix, I think. Let me just open it up just a little bit more. Yeah. And okay. Not too bad. 6 steps. Alright. Shouldn't pose much of a problem. So on with the kit. So main parts. You have a bag of parts and you have the decal sheet. Now as you can see, I had the foresight to pack the decal sheet away in a Ziploc bag. Right. Let me just pop that open. So this has stood the test of time pretty well. The USSR markings are on this side. The Polish ones are here. Okay. So I think when Airfix reissued this, they did a pretty good job on the decals. It's still the original decal, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for the Soviet aircraft. The Polish one is new. Now, one more thing before I leave the decals. The Polish one doesn't have white. If I remember correctly, the Polish checkerboard marking had white and red, right? So I'm not sure whether or not this is correct. I'm still going to do some research, but from what I know, it should be white and red. There was also a moment, I think, when they changed it to this orientation, right? If you look at some of the military vehicles, the armored vehicles and tanks, they have this marking, but oriented this way, not that way, if you know what I mean. But again, it had a white backing, so not too sure about that. Anyway, purely academic, because I'm going to build this as a Soviet aircraft, right? So not a problem for me. Onto the kit. Now, when I told my buddies I was going to build this for the 48-hour challenge, of course they all were scoffing, because they said it's a simple Airfix kit: wings, fuselage, undercarriage, a pilot figure, a seat, decals, and a single color scheme. They said I could finish this in actually 2 minutes and spend the rest of the 48 hours basically doing something else. But okay, so, well, I don't know about that. Oh, this is nice. Do you see that? I like this. This is a very nice canopy. Very clear. Just a bit of a nub here to clean off, but not that difficult. But look at that. I love the clarity. Okay. So that goes over there. Now, as you can see, just by looking at the parts spread out here, the kit is of course very simple. But what I like is the quality of the plastic. This is nice quality plastic. It's not the brittle, almost translucent plastic that I found in some Airfix kits. This is nice. Race detail, of course, you can see that so clearly. But you know, test fit that. Yeah, looks decent enough. Okay, so obviously some work is required. I mean, isn't that why it's called an Airfix kit? You got to fix it and all that comes with it. It kind of like snaps into place. I've got to remove all this stuff, of course, but you know, that's a MIG15. That's a MIG15 for sure. Okay, now I like the quality of the plastic, so it should be fun to work with. But straight off, I mean, you can look at, I like the pilot figure. It's the later version one. Okay. The rest of this stuff is generic. Oh, look at that. The undercarriage arms are just molded onto the doors, and there's those huge sink marks. No matter. One solution would be to build this thing wheels up. And that just means removing all that stuff. And then we have this. One of the wheels is here, the other wheel's on the other end. And then you have the tail plane. And then you have the separate air brakes. So I could pose the aircraft with air brakes open, but why would I want to do that, right? Keep it simple. So I've only got 48 hours to build this thing. Now, one thing which I wanted to highlight, which is very important, is this. This is the nose ring of the aircraft. Now, Airfix got this very, very much correct, in the sense that they have this little nub on top. This is the top end, by the way. They have this little nub here, okay, which I believe is for the infrared detection. I'm not sure why you would have something like that, but on photographs of the real thing, you find it there. I just have to drill a hole out for it. The aircraft had this thing inside, and thank God they have it here, because this thing is actually the beginning of the splitter plate. What happens is that when the aircraft was designed, they split the air intake into two, so the air would flow on either side of the cockpit tub. Okay, so you have that, but it remember that this is supposed to be a tunnel that spreads out to the back into two. Huh? So I've actually got to build that double tunnel construction inside the fuselage, which goes around the fuselage, well, around the cockpit tub. So now you understand why the MiG has this little tubby looking shape. It reminds me of another plane similar to this, about the same vintage as well, which is the Saab Tunan. If you remember, the Saab Tunan is a little portly looking aircraft, right? Small nose, but it opens up into a big body. And now you understand why, because it does do that airflow split thing. Okay, so this one, very nice barrel looking fuselage, but the air would flow on either side here to the engine at the back here. Okay, speaking of which, I will have to build a new cockpit tub, or a cockpit tub for sure, to fill that in. I'm not sure what this would do, but maybe I need to go and fill that up. I need to build an instrument panel, and the cockpit tub has got to be obviously quite narrow, not the whole thing flap out, right? So it's got to be a tub. It's got to fit this thing, okay? And well, now you see why I cannot open up and leave open the air brakes, because there really is no detail on the air brakes. But this is what I mean by the quality of the plastic. The quality of the plastic is really, really good. Okay. I will need to install a jet pipe, or else, it just looks weird, right? So I just need to find a bit of plastic tube. No problem. I think I can find one. I've got several tube sizes, which I can just slip in inside there. Actually, I'm planning to build this wheels up. I think that's what I'll do. And if that's the case, then what I'll do is that I'll actually use the tailpipe as a means to mount the aircraft on a little stand. There is no stand provided. Airfix used to have a little stand thing. I think that's it, where it was, but they've just filled it up now. But they didn't supply the stand in the kit, so, well, I don't have that. And that's what the front undercarriage bay looks like, which is another reason to build this wheels up. And anyway, jets lend themselves very much to a wheels up depiction, right? Because they are, well, there's no props or anything else to show as spinning or anything else, so this will work. So there I have it. I have a pretty decent kit, actually, for a 48-hour challenge, right? Everything seems to be okay. The seat is laughable, I think, but I mean, seriously, I would just fill it up with all kinds of doodads and everything else and make the cockpit tub look busy. This is quite clear, so I'm going to have to make sure that I do fill it up nicely. And because it's going to be in flight mode, that pilot figure is going to help me close up and hide a lot of other things, fill up that space. And the instrument panel, I will have to find a way of depicting that realistically. Probably piece of plastic card, drops of white paint to represent the instrument faces, and then maybe drops of clear coat to represent lenses and glass fascia, and then switches on the side, stuff like that, which I can find on the internet and just add on as a way of filling up and making the whole thing look busy and filled. So there you have it. Another opportunity for me to share with you a kit which I have, which is an old one. I don't know how many people have actually seen a kit like this, but here's an opportunity for you to see one. I'm not sure whether it's readily available. Airfix got a new iteration of this kit. They've not rehashed this. They have completely new mold of the MiG15. So this one definitely is out of production. Probably scrapped it actually, but I'm still gonna build this, and not to worry, I've got another one in the stash lying around, which means I still have one to keep as a memento of a really, really nice kit which I built when I was a young child, and which brings back a lot of memories. That's the part about scale modeling, I think, that I really like. That yeah, I may grow up, but these memories always will stay with me. And I have an opportunity now to share these with you as well. Thank you for dropping by, and hope to see you again for my next installment of the next project which I'm going to be doing.